assessment opportunity. You will see here we've got plural for opportunities. And how many opportunities do you have to reassess, colleagues?
3.
We have 3 opportunities within which we must achieve competency. You'll be required to resubmit evidence only for the areas you were declared not yet competent. Let me explain this, a very important aspect that I might have not explained earlier. So when we say you resubmit evidence where you were declared not yet competent, so if you get an assessment with 10 questions and you get question 7 not yet competent, you don't start afresh with the whole assessment. You only do question 7. Am I clear, colleagues?
Yes.
So if you get not yet competent and the not yet competent is on question 7, you only redo question 7. And what color do you use for resubmitting?
Purple.
The color will be purple. So you will change your font to show that this is now a reassessment. You will use color purple. You'll also be, I think a date as well will be agreed upon. So normally, as you can see here, we've taken the 30th as the last submission date. So between the 30th, you should have resubmitted some of your reassessments there. I hope I'm making sense, colleagues. Right. You'll be entitled to lodge an appeal as well should you not be satisfied with the assessment decision of your assessment. So if you are not happy that you got not yet competent for question 7, so importantly, you can submit with your assessor and say, I'm not happy I did not get question 7 competent. And I think we did discuss this to say then you and your assessor must then sit down and you must have a conversation around that. Seek clarity is given, and if you guys do not reach an agreement, then your assessor will take it up with your moderator, and the moderator will intervene and mediate. If you are still not happy with the decision of the moderator, then the sitter will be involved, and that particular feedback will then be assisted or given feedback by the sitter. I hope I'm making sense, colleagues. So if you are not happy with your POE being marked not yet competent or your assessment is not being marked competent, that can still be dealt with in that fashion. You will be required to provide the assessor feedback on assessment procedure. This is to assist in providing or in improving the assessment practices. So sitter always wants to improve their assessment processes that we follow. So very importantly, we will consistently be asking you to tell us how did that assessment process go. So that's the column that we've got on the far right. For instance, here you can always put in a comment and say, I'm not happy it was too long, I'm happy it was short. Normally we say, if you're just okay, you can just put in satisfactory, happy, okay, happy, and put in your further comments. There will be a section as well further down where you'll be giving more feedback around that. You'll be given required to provide assessment feedback on the procedure, or that's the point that I was reading now, and your results of assessment and your portfolio of evidence will not be provided to any person without your consent. So we try and keep it private. Your mother will not get your results unless you write us a letter and tell us you need us to give your POE or your results to your mother. People that will always get your results without your consent will be your assessor, your moderator, your verifier, HR. So people that are part of the assessment process in some way or part of the organization in some way will get the feedback. But if your neighbor comes and wants your results, we are not entitled or we are not obliged to give it to them without your written consent. I hope that one is clear as well. Right, and this is your declaration. You, Ngugai Toby, herewith declare that I am not ready. I am ready for the assessment. That we have reviewed the assessment preparation plan. I understand the assessment process. I am happy that the assessment will be conducted in a fair manner. So here again, colleagues, we are going to put in the date where we started with. I think here we'll put in Friday's date when we had these conversations. So we'll go back to Friday, and then you put the start date to be Monday or yesterday. I think we discussed these issues between Monday and Tuesday last week, but I think to be safe, we can put in Friday, because I think some of you were doing recordings and trying to catch up in the last week. I hope you're noting the dates to put in there as well. So then I will put in my signature there when you submit your documents, and they will remain in your POE on the portal. Let us start. I will not go through all the assessment processes there, but I want us to start this morning. I think we did part of this question yesterday. Am I right? Am I wrong? I sent you as well out to go and check for these words, and I want to believe you've got them ready. And it's going to be very quick to go through these exercises. I want to believe you started. You had a week head start, and I think you are ready to start and finish this one. In a group, find other words that you don't know the meaning of, and then try and determine the meaning by looking at the whole sentence. I'll take hands, colleagues. Let's take the first one. I will take hands. Words that you don't know the meaning of, and I think these words, we've got to determine the meaning by looking at the whole sentence. So you can give us the words in a sentence. Colleagues, please do help me identify hands. I might not be seeing the hands. So if there's a hand, just let me know. For now, I know Bongani's hand is always up. So Bongani has an answer already, but I'll forgive him. Notice, go ahead.
Okay, you said I must give you the sentence, right? Sentence.
Yes, please.
Okay. The sentence says the party will be in a covert location.
In a covert location.
Yes.
Please type the word for me in the chat.
Okay.
I think it's covert that I'm looking for. Am I right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Wonder what that word means. I'm looking for the spelling as well, so that I get it right. What do you guys think it means? Work with me, colleagues. What do you think that word means? It comes from electricity.
It means secret.
Means in secret.
Secret or undisclosed.
Yes.
I'm hearing two speakers. In secret or undisclosed. Which one are we taking?
Yes, yeah, both of them are correct. Is in a secret location, yes.
In a secret location or
yes.
an undisclosed
location. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Notice. Thank you very much there. In a covert location. I was thinking it's in a very prestigious location. I thought that's what it would have meant. Somewhere in a covert location, somewhere high up there, like status-wise. Okay, that's what I would have thought. Someone else? Another sentence? Another word? Colleagues, if there are hands, please do let me know. No luvo, Jinga, go ahead. Right.
Hello, sir, I made a mistake. My hand was not up.
Your hand is not up. You are breaking my heart, Noluvo. I was like, someone new in my class. Yes. What do you have, Noluvo? Now you can tell me because you're already unmuted. So might as well tell me. Noluvo is like, you're on your own, Mr. X. I made a mistake, and easy, X-Men. And easy. To me, yes, go ahead. You are muted to me. I am laughing at you. It's nice to laugh at people when they speak behind a muted microphone.
So thank you, sir. Okay, she had almost wished she had never offered a scholarship in behalf of such an ingrate. So the word is ingrate.
If you can, please type it for me in the chat. Bongani, please type ingrate for me in the chat. Before Tumi tells us what it means, let me ask Tumi to say the sentence again. Ingrate. What do you guys think it means? Please say a sentence again to me. You are still muted to me.
Sorry. She had almost wished she had never offered a scholarship in behalf of such an ingrate.
On behalf of such an ingrate. This one is a domkop. This one, such an ingrate. It sounds ingrate means a domkop. And by the way, you're not allowed to say domkop in my class, but I can go to prison. What do you guys think ingrate means? Don't Google it. Just tell us what you think it means. Such an ingrate. What do you guys think it means? Does it mean an intelligent person? What do you guys think it means?
Should it be a grateful person, like in the name, English?
A group of courses.
An ungrateful person?
An ungrateful person. Ah, okay. Ingrate. Ungrateful. Ingrate. Okay. I think you had the full sentence there, Bongani, and I think that's where I'm taking it from. Okay. Right. To me, spare us. What does the word mean?
Yes, Bongani is correct. It means an ungrateful person.
Not a domkop.
No, sir. It means an ungrateful person. Grateful person.
Okay. And here I was thinking I am an English speaker.
No.
Okay. Bongani, thank you. I see you've let me try and read your sentence. The audience found the musical rather, no, that word is too complicated. Insipid. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I knew English, guys. I don't. So insipid means it was rather inspiring. And it was rather, this is me. What do you guys think?
Sir, I think it means it's lacking, like a very lacking audience. Yes, yeah, I think so.
Very lacking, but they are saying the musical rather
what
insipid. The musical rather the audience found the musical rather insipid, rather short of something, lacking of something.
Yes.
Could be. Okay. That's what I think it's Musa there.
Yeah. It was not enough. It was, I mean, it was not enough. Yeah, it was short of something.
It was short of something. It was lacking.
Yes.
Right. Ongani, spare us, my guy. What does the word mean?
Yes, it is lacking, dull, uninteresting, vapid, boring.
Wait, Bongani, I am battling to hear you there. What do you think? What are you saying it means?
Dull and uninteresting.
Guys, can you hear Bongani?
Let me type it out, sir.
No, it's breaking.
Okay. From where I can hear you, Bongani, it's like you are in a small corner and there's walls too close and your sound is just echoing. We can hear you, but we can't make the words you are saying. Like we can hear you speaking though.
I'm going to type out the answers. Is that okay?
Yes, that would work. That would work, my good sir.
Okay, I'm doing so now.
So you then have to make 5 words, or rather give us 5 sentences there in the same way that we're doing today in class. And you've got to give us your responses there. We've done this one where we spoke about borrowed terms or words, and they are borrowed from. The trick here, colleagues, please note, is from other South African languages. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, sir.
So if you notice, we did them from English last week. I want to challenge you to avoid using English in this instance. As they say, other South African languages. So avoid French, avoid Dutch, avoid Portuguese. They are languages in South Africa, but they are not native to South Africa. So I'm going to skip that one. I think we did it last week. Give me 5 acronyms. What is an acronym? It's an abbreviation, right? So Bongani says insipid, says dull, uninteresting, tasteless, flavorless. So the musical was boring, short, it wasn't so nice. So I thought it was inspiring. I looked at the word, I'm like, insipid, inspiring. No, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. 5 acronyms, colleagues. Five acronyms, colleagues. Tomi, your hand is up. Do you have one for me?
I have PIN, personal identification number.
PIN, that's personal identification number. Bongani, your hand is up. Give me one.
SMS, short messaging services.
SMS, short messaging services. Sandile, your hand is up. Go ahead.
I got SASA, South African Social Security Agency, the one that is bordering 350.
Why you hear SASA first?
It's bordering. We need money.
Say it again, Sandile. Give us the meaning again.
So, South African Social Security Agency.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Sandile. An interesting one. Rose, give me one.
I have identification, ID for identification.
Okay, interesting. John, give me another one.
It's NBA, National Basketball Association.
NBA.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Solete. Give me one.
SPCA, South African, SAPS, South African Police Services.
Is it me or did I lose Litulete?
We heard the mistake.
Say again, Litulete. I think I lost you for a second there. Yes, no. Tendo, give me one.
ABSA. It stands for
Yes.
Amalgamated Banks of South Africa.
Yeah. I never knew it was an acronym. I thought it was someone's. Taco, give me one.
TTYL.
51M.
TTYL.
And what does it mean?
Talk to you later.
Hey, man. Oh, okay. Talk to you later. So that has an acronym. I refuse Nzako. Who said that's an acronym? Nzako. That's slang. Nzako. No, Nzako. I disagree, Nzako. Talk to you later, not an acronym, in my opinion.
Yes, I misunderstood you.
Okay, yeah. That sounds like it's slang. I think I want to put it under slang. I might be mistaken. You guys can tell me if I'm mistaken. Then I have Clarence. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, sir. SETA.
Go ahead.
Sector Education and Training Authority.
Yeah, copying from the induction, Clarence. I'm watching you. Cindy, give me one. You can unmute. Young Robu Clarence. Cindy, unmute your mic and give me one.
I have 4 more.
Go ahead.
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Then it's abbreviated as FOMO.
FOMO. Yes.
Okay. I want to disagree with that one, and you guys can teach me and argue with me, right? That sounds like a slang as well. Fear of missing out, FOMO. And you guys must, if you agree with me or if you let me disagree with my colleagues, later on I'm going to ask why you agree with me or why you leave me to disagree with my colleagues. I want to put this one under slang, Cindy, but I'll come back, I think, and explain later why I think it's slang.
Okay.
Where did I stop? Tembisile, go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good afternoon.
I have ATM, automated teller machine.
Please say again, it means?
Automated teller machine.
Automated teller machine. Does that thing have money? Why do my children talk about a lot of money here? Very concerned. The money stories are growing here. Precious. Give me yours.
Okay, how are you doing, sir?
I'm all right, and how are you, Precious?
Very well, thank you. I have AWOL.
What does it mean?
Absent without official.
Okay, give me the acronym again.
AWOL.
AVOC.
AWOL.
AWOL. Okay.
AWOL.
And what does it mean?
Absent without official leave.
Yay, he has gone AWOL. That's what they meant when I disappeared on a Monday. I'm putting it under slang. That one as well, Precious. Not an acronym. Colleagues, just give me a second. Please excuse me for a second. all the hands being high up, I'm going to try and take all of them. So I've disagreed with Precious, Ntsako, and Tembisile, I think. Tembisile is back. Go ahead, Tembisile. Do you have another one for me?
Yes, I have some.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
South African Revenue Services.
That's SARS, eh? Yeah, I think I know that one. First time I know one. And that was from Tennessee. Anita, give me yours.
ASAP, which is as soon as possible.
Okay, abbreviation, well, not abbreviation, but slang, that one as well, Anita. I want to put it under slang. I want to put that one under slang as well. Lijane, give me yours.
Mr. X?
Yes, go ahead,
LTE.
give me yours.
LTE.
What does that mean?
Long-term evolution.
Long-term evolution. Oh, I thought it was just chip data. I thought it was just chip.
Oh, by
Okay.
the way, Mr. X, my name is pronounced
yes.
D.
It's
pronounced
your name
D.
is pronounced?
My name. It's pronounced Dijani, not Lijani.
Yeah, guys, this class is going to kill me with these names. How do you say Lee is D?
It's that's how they used to write it in Sutu.
But okay, Mr. Dijane, can we come back to please say this after me? La le li lo lu. Da de di do do.
The reason why they changed from LI to DI is because it brought a lot of confusion.
No, but they didn't change it. It's still LI. And then you are saying I must pronounce it like I don't see it. I see LI, but I must pronounce what I don't see.
No, yes, I'm saying like in grammar, in Sutu grammar, they had to change it. In Sutu grammar, they had to change it because it was bringing confusion. But for some reason, my name
is Dijan.
Hasn't changed. Yes.
What does it mean, Dijan?
Hey, you know, in as far as the meaning is concerned, hey, it's a long story. Well, the closest to the meaning I get is that it is, you know, the chief of my clan. The chief of my clan's name was Dijani, so it traveled from generation to generation. But in as far as the meaning is concerned, Mr. X, I also do not know.
Okay, so let's discuss this between me and you. The other guys, please don't listen to us. So we don't know why we are seeing Lee, but we must pronounce it D. And we also don't know what it means, except for that it was the name of our chief. But unfortunately, we are stuck with it.
Unfortunately, sir.
Should I ask about your surname? Is it? I'm stressed for this. If this class is not going to kill me with names, I'm going to just go to prison for pronouncing them wrong. And then Tsako in this class is a lady. I have a big problem with that. There is Ompile. I thought it was a lady. It is a guy. Now there is Dijane, who is supposed to be Lijane, but it's, guys, are you trying to get me in trouble with yourselves? What is it that you're trying to do actually in this class? I will ask next thing, even Tendo will be a guy. Tendo, are you a gentleman? Guys, okay, anyways, never mind. Let's come back to the content of today's session. Right. Apologies, Mr. Dijane. I will learn. I will do some research as well around the name. I find it quite interesting. And again, this is one of the things that I need to learn, colleagues. Very importantly, if it's Sutu, I am interested to find out. It's something that I'm not familiar with. And I think you must teach me non-stop. I'm Nguni, so the Ngwenyas, easy to pronounce, Masilo, easy to pronounce. But when you say Li, yeah, then I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued there. Very, very intrigued. Okay. Trying to switch to my charts. I've got a few names in the chat, or a few acronyms in the chat. Are you guys seeing them in the chat? Are you guys seeing them in the chat?
No.
So I've got radar, radio.
Yes, we do saw them, sir.
I've got radar, radio detection and ranging. NASA National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Some people are car people, DSG.
Yes, Mr. X.
Yeah. And so very importantly, then you'll see the direct shift gearbox. I wonder what these abbreviations all mean. Well done, colleagues. I'll give you a round of applause. Well done there. I spoke to some new people as well. I'm ecstatic, colleagues, and I learned some Sesotho. I am quite excited this morning. I am quite excited this morning. So the next task I will skip. I want to believe you've got to read that, right? And you've got to then answer these questions. I will not really delve into reading with you guys, but I can't wait to see what you guys have said in the answer sheet there. But this one says, let us do it in a group, right? So we don't have groups for now. So you'll do it with me here so that we learn how to do these tasks in class and how to respond to them for now. Then later on, we're definitely going to have our groups there. By the way, you're allowed to discuss amongst yourselves and set up smaller Nyana groups and work with each other. The WhatsApp group is one big group as well. We can use that group as a big group. Let us read the cartoons. Then we must discuss how the author uses a cartoon to demonstrate the corruption of traffic officers.
Mr. X,
Yes, sir.
before we move on to the next section, I want to debate with you ngale zinto zakho nalo munye ashiyo about abo ASAP nale ama-abbreviation wabo.
Okay.
I think they all fall under acronyms, and also they fall under slang.
Under slangs.
Both.
Yes. Why do you say so?
Because they're all phrases, and they all shortened words.
They all shortened words.
Yes, because what the trend I'm seeing here, you are allowing names of organizations. We are Vuma one, but allow manyama phrase because they sound more slang than actual sentences. Then we are Piga one.
Okay.
So they can fall under slang and also fall under acronyms.
Okay. I'm digesting it. For instance, if we look at DSG, that's not an organization, but I think I've accepted it.
Okay. But you are
and I'm taking the conversation forward. So the reason I'm saying, I'll set an example. The reason I'm saying they are slang, maybe I am incorrect, right? But an abbreviation will take the initial letter of other words, and then your argument takes some weight. To get what I'm saying? So, for example, when I think we took a wall and I said it's slang, but if you hear what the meaning for a wall is, it's absent, without official leave. Your argument makes sense. I want to agree with you because an acronym basically takes the first letter of every word. Am I making sense?
Making sense.
Yes, so many dogs. Why would you have so many dogs? I hate you, these dogs. They will bite. Okay, so I think I'm taking the debate, colleagues, and I think maybe as well where I might stand to be corrected is I threw them under an incorrect cap and called them slang. But you might be right, and I think I will accept that there might be some weight to that debate there. I hope I'm making sense. Sehambile manje umntwana ezinja sengisele ngedwa ke mina manje
Sorry about that.
Sengisele ngedwa manje. I'm arguing with your point here. And
Sorry about
you are
that.
arguing with the dog. No, that's fine. So I was saying, I think you do have a point, and I will accede to that point. It is not a problem at all. I think I get what you're trying to put forward there.
So they were never incorrect.
Yeah, it's acceptable if you are able to put a debate forward. We will accept them. I will accept them without a problem.
Okay, no problems.
Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. Right. So, colleagues, again, then you look at this particular one here where we say this doesn't look good. You haven't converted. I think we did this one. Am I correct? We did talk about 2 buffaloes. And I think your homework was you guys must tell me what 2 buffaloes are, right?
How much they are?
What are these 2 buffaloes?
200.
How are they called buffaloes? Is it because of Palafat?
No, it's because the 100
The money has some buffaloes.
Yeah, the 100 of the
The money has some buffaloes. Okay. Is that why they're called 2? How does all of that, what does that all have to do with traffic officers? What's going on actually?
They are known for.
There's a sound that's giving me an echo. I'm going to try and figure out what it is. If I can't, Mr. Sibonelo, please do assist me there. Right. Talk to me, colleagues. When we speak of this particular cartoon, what's going on? Who wants to give us an explanation there? What's going on in this cartoon here?
Answer, sir.
Is that Bongani?
Yes, Bongani.
Go ahead, Bongani.
Firstly, there's a static sound coming from your end.
There is a
static sound coming from your end.
Okay. Is it still happening?
It's better now.
Is it better now?
It's better.
Okay, perfect. Let's give it a shot and see.
All right. So essentially, what's happening here in this article is a police officer is being bribed by the lady, and when they mention the 12 buffaloes, and the other one is mentioning next time they must bring several leopards, they are indicating the animals that are on the money. For example, the buffalo is known to be on the 100 rand, the leopards are on the 200 rand. And then they make fun of the point by saying, thank goodness for the big five. Further emphasizing that actually the big five from the 10 rand to the 200 rand is on the note.
Okay. I better to hear you, Bongan, and I think maybe it's something that we've got to look into, maybe in at length, maybe tomorrow. I suspect it has to do with the room that you are in. I don't think it's your microphone. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think you are telling me this is bribery that is happening here, right? I hear you mentioning also, you're saying, thank goodness for the big five. And you're putting it, I think you're using the term sarcasm around that one. Am I correct, Bongani?
Yes, that's correct. They're pointing fun at the fact that Big Five is actually printed on our money from the 10 rand to the 200 rand note.
Okay. Yeah. No, really, really battling to hear you, Bongani. But
Wait,
I hear you saying,
the other room. Let me move to another room. Is it better now, sir?
Okay, Bongani is still speaking. I think I'm battling a bit, Bongani, but I will hope it will improve. I hope it will improve.
I've moved into another
room. So Bongani, if another room. Right. So looking at the screen here and what Bongani has said, I'm hearing one something. What is happening now? Is the echo on my side?
Yes, sir. The echo is on your side.
I'm going to pause for a second. Try to establish what's happening. The first thing I will do is everyone. Give me a second. Going to mute everyone. I think I've done that. Giving it a second to go all around. So colleagues, what I've done is I've basically muted everyone. I want to sanitize my sound and ask you guys to confirm. Can you all hear me? Am I audible, colleagues?
Yes, Mr. X.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So there is no echo at all when I speak.
No, there's no echo at the moment.
Yes, sir, I can hear you properly.
And the echo, is it still there?
No.
No.
Okay. So I think very importantly, colleagues, I don't know, but I'm battling with some microphones. I'm finding it hard to pinpoint which ones they are, but I've also changed desks in my office here so that I try and make sure if the echo is coming from my corner, it is indeed resolved. So I will ask you again, if you hear this echo and it comes from my microphone, please do let me know.
Okay, so at the moment there's no echo.
At the current moment, there is no echo.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful stuff.
I answer again?
Say again.
Could I try and answer again? I've moved into an open room.
Oh, okay. I think that's Bongani. Yes, you can try again, Bongani. I think I'm hearing you a bit better now.
I think the echo comes from the current speaker. It's Bongani.
Okay, so
I'm
someone
alone.
says
There's no
there's
echo.
from. Okay, can I speak, colleagues? I think very importantly, and figure out what is affecting us, right? So Bongani wants to test his sound as well. He says he has relocated, so I'll give Bongani a second. Go ahead, Bongani. Have I lost Bongani now, or is it me that's lost?
Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
Yes, I've moved into another room, so I hope it's much better now.
Okay, yes, go ahead, go ahead.
The cartoon essentially shows a police officer being bribed, and they are making fun of this bribe by using the animals that are printed on the money. Example, the buffalo and the leopard, which are on the 100 Rand note and the 200 Rand note. And then, as the police officer walks away, the lady says, "Thank goodness for the big five," poking fun at the money being what talks, and it also being the animals on the note.
Okay, okay. I think that's what I heard. Yes, that importantly, they're then poking fun. So he's also saying, I think Mohan is also saying the money is printed with elephants and these buffaloes. And I wouldn't have known it was what is printed. And unfortunately, we don't have the money to confirm who has the buffaloes and the elephants. Can you please share with us so that we can prove this? Send me an e-wallet of the buffaloes, guys. I want to prove this. Bongani might be playing games with us here. So e-wallet me something, Sandile, Musa, Mr. Dijane. E-wallet me these monies here, so that I confirm the buffaloes and the elephants, and make sure Bongani is not pulling my leg here. I'll wait for the e-wallet before I say your answer is correct, Bongani. I want to wait for the e-wallet. Mr. Matsimela, send me the e-wallet of the elephants there. I want to make sure I mark correctly here Bongani's input. Right, that's me poking fun as well at the response, colleagues. I want to believe Bongani is indeed correct. Correct. Is there any other view other than the view that we have, colleagues? Is there a different view? Do we all understand this particular storyline the same?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful stuff. So I think very importantly, we will look at any opposing and I am hearing some contribution. I don't know if it's from myself again or what. I wonder if it is from myself again. Okay, I'm thinking I've resolved it once more. Right. Now, very importantly, let me see, have I got these advertisements? Yes. So the task here is the advertisements on the following pages. We've got to look at them, then we must answer these questions here, right? What is being advertised? What was the first thing you noticed? How do they make use of font types and sizes to make key points stand out? Is the layout of the page done in a way that is interesting and gets your attention? Was it easy to understand the message? So I'll go down for the first part and check here. And I thought I'd edited these images. What happens when they come back onto this document? Okay, I can't edit them now anyway. Right, so I will skip the first one and I want to take this one intentionally. I want to skip the first one and take this one. What do you guys think of this one? What did you note down on your assessment today? What's happening here? If there are hands, help me note the hands, colleagues. I think I asked you to go and check this out yesterday. I'm waiting for a response. Looking at this advert, what do you think is going on there?
I see that they are advertising sumo huts for storages.
Okay. What are sumo huts now? Do you know what they are?
They are prefabs.
I think I heard your response. They are what?
Prefabs.
Okay, I'm battling to hear you there. I can hear you are saying something. What are they supposed to be?
Prefab.
Yeah, I know. I'm battling there. I'm not sure. I think it's the word that I'm looking for. That I'm not hearing. Okay. Sumo huts. And then what are you noticing with this particular advert? What do you think is being done with fonts and what is it that you're observing looking at the advert? Is anything sinister? Is anything that you're picking up that says this is what they've done here on this advert? We're looking at the first advert, the one for sumo huts. What are you guys seeing and picking up here? Remember the questions that we've got from the top here. I hope you have them as well on your side. What is being advertised? You can answer me as well if you guys have a better description of what sumo is. Is sumo the name of the company or is it a type of hat? What is being advertised? What is the first thing you noticed? What did they do interestingly on the advert that gets your attention? Was it easy to get what they're advertising here? Those are the questions we're answering for now. Is there silence in court or am I missing hands? Musa, go ahead.
Mr. X, in terms of fonts, I'll speak in terms of fonts. They made the fonts big. Mr. X.
Loud and clear, yes, I can hear you.
They made the fonts big to catch the reader's attention, and also the caption they wrote, the must on every side. So they are tempting you and showing you, or they wrote it in a way to grab your attention to say you must have these Suzus or Mikuka. I'm not sure what the so yeah, that's my opinion.
That's your 2 beats there.
Yeah.
Right. John, go ahead. What's your feeling?
Yes, in my own understanding, I think sumo huts is a structure that is being advertised that can do multi functions, such as they can place them in a construction site. They can let me say they can be put as school classes. Yeah, they're just multi-functions in my own view. That's how I see it.
Okay. What is it that captured your eye with the advert, John? John, did I remember right? What captured your eye instantly looking at the advert there?
So I think the words written in bold are obviously made to catch the reader's eyes. So obviously, if that thing was on a post or somewhere on walls, would start by reading those words. So the font they made me to be interested in the post or in
Which
the
ones are
advert.
those ones now? Which ones are
Excuse
in
me.
bold? Sumo, is that bold? I think hearts as well is in bold.
Yes, and also the statement there that
Which one?
says a must on every site.
Must on every side. Okay, okay. So
Yes.
that one is meant to then capture your attention right there.
Yes.
Okay. Victor, go ahead.
Thanks. What I see is that I see a very informative advert, and they also show us a number of designs that they offer, and they also inform us that it can be used for storage or for sleeping quarters and also for tool sheds, and you don't really have to do a lot of maintenance on these things, so it will save you a lot of money.
Okay, okay. That's a lot of detail. Where are you getting all that detail?
By just looking at the adverts.
But now we are talking about sleeping sheds. Where do they tell you it's a sleeping shed?
No, here at the bottom it says it reads storage, sleeping quarters, and tool sheds.
Tool sheds. Ah, okay. I see. I would not have seen that. I'm wondering, are you sleeping in class? Now we are thinking of sleeping in these sheds. But I see now you're seeing. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you very much, sir. Kuseli, go ahead. You are muted, Kuseli.
Sorry. I was saying I see under special offer, where it's written special offer.
Yes.
Yes. So under special offer, it does state that already the prices are low. There's a special running there, so the prices won't be the same as the normal prices there.
Okay. So there is normal prices, and then you also get the special offer. And you see the special offer is written, it's not straight, it's a bit skew, eh?
Yes.
So if a person who picks up things that are skew and not straight, you're able to see that special offer is going to make you upset, because some people get upset when they see things that are not in straight lines. You see. Right. I think I'm following what you guys are looking at, and I think I want you to do the same. I think we've got 3 adverts. I edited this, but I see that it jumped off track again. So you've got then these 3. I was planning to skip this one, but now I'm remembering some of you discussed it in class, I think last week on Tuesday. What is being advertised here? It's a question I didn't ask on the previous advert. What is it that they're advertising here? They're advertising chalk. What are they advertising here? Johnny, is your hand up, or is that an old hand? It's a go ahead.
Can you hear me, Mr. X?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay. I think it's a book.
I think Mr. Let's say saying this is a book
being advertised.
You think it's a book that's being advertised? Okay. What do you think is being advertised?
I was about to say the same thing, sir.
You're about to say the same thing. So do we agree this is a book that's being advertised here? Not chalk.
No. It is like
But I see chalk there. They're advertising chalk, these guys. And they're advertising 3 pieces of chalk. One is hidden there, one has been used, and the other one is still fairly new. Right. I agree with you, colleagues. Yes, they are advertising a book. Yes, they're advertising a book. In my opinion, in any case, if there was a different view, I would say we've got to consider that different view. But in this case, I think we all think it is a book. I'm reflecting in my mind a conversation that I had last week, and it was quite interesting that we can be looking at the same thing and we could see something completely different. We could be seeing something completely different. Right, and then there are other questions I think here that have to do with with the second aspect of this one. So we've got a cover page of a novel that tells you at a glance what the story is about. The novel is called They Are All My Children. Then we've got to look at that particular book, and that's what triggered me, or that's what we spoke about, or that's what the conversation was about in class last week. Then they're asking you some questions. Who wrote the book? Do you guys know who wrote the book? They also ask you here, what do you think the book is about? What do you guys think? Well, the author, we all know the author, right? What's the name of the author?
Johnson. The book is about a teacher, sir.
The book is about a teacher. Okay, they give you some options here.
Leon Johnson.
A mother writing about her children, a grandmother writing about her children and grandchildren, a teacher writing about school children she taught, or some saving war orphans. Which one do you think it is?
A teacher writing about school children she taught, or someone saving war orphans.
Yeah, I think she's saying war, someone saving war orphans. Then the next question say why, and I think that's Bongani. Why do you think it's someone saving war orphans, Bongani?
I don't know if I did the right thing, but what I did was I just Googled the author and I discovered that she was a former war veteran. She was in the army.
Ah, okay. So you did some Googling there to get that answer.
Yes.
Correct as you may be, Bongani. Unfortunately, this is what we wanted you to do. We wanted you to think without the Googling. You see, caught red-handed. Caught red-handed, Bongani.
Yes, Rob.
I was not aware I was not supposed to be. My apologies.
Right. So then we are basically asking you for your thought, right? A mother writing about her children. And in essence, what we're looking at, remember we're talking about reading skills, right? They are all my children. Then you look at what this book cover is all about. It's got chalk there, it's got a chalkboard duster, and you look at the title, They Are All My Children. And it's easy for you to come back and pick the section. Where are those options? Ooh, I wish I could edit on my screen. Yeah. It's easy to select a teacher writing about school children she taught, right? That is what I think most of us would have said there or have said there. And I think I'm interested when I see your assessments. I'm still interested to figure out why you say this, right? Then also, whatever you say will tell us there are 2 clues in this cover page. They help you identify what the story is about, and you must find those 2 clues. What do you think the page, what do you think of the page layout? So you look at the book cover there and you give us that feedback there. So this is an individual task and you go through it question by question. So you'll basically be answering these questions all the way to the end. Where it gets interesting is where it brings us back to the content of what we're doing in assessment 1. The techniques we're using to indicate main points in this article. The techniques we're using for reading and finding out what the writer is trying to say in the advert. The techniques we use and the differences in all your techniques. And one of the reasons I do it with you in class is so that you guys are able to give me exactly that, different views of what we see. If we were to read this article as well, we would pick up different things. And we must all learn these different techniques that we spoke about yesterday in making sure that we extract meaning from a piece of writing. I hope I'm making sense there, colleagues. So there's a lot of reading that you're doing in this assessment here. And please also make sure that you respond to the questions genuinely. Much as Bongani did the Googling, it's not wrong. For instance, after doing all the answering, go back and do some Googling and you'll sit and have a laugh around what you might have gotten wrong. And what you think is never wrong. We always want to hear what you thought and then compare it to what it really is, where we know what it really is. We don't always know what it really is, but what you think is what we're interested in quite intensely. Right, so these are still individual exercises. You don't need to do them in groups. Still working with the article on slavery. We're asking you there, what do you think is the author's purpose in writing this article? So yesterday, you'll remember when we did the unit standard we did, a lot of it was talking about you understanding that you might think you know something, but if you look at it from the author's perspective, understanding the scenario, the background and everything, it might actually be something different from what you actually read it to be. But if you just take it at word, black and white, you might find that you get a completely different meaning there. Right? So we also look at explicitly stated facts in the article. We also look at implicitly stated facts or points in the article. And again, it is the same article about slavery. So you'll notice I wanted to show you how to remove the lines, but I don't think I can on this document. My document is not showing the way it's supposed to show. When I prepared, it was showing me nicely here. I had a lot of things here. Now, suddenly, because I changed it, I'm not able to do things. But I think I did show you on some kind of screen how you wait for the mouse to move. Do you see my mouse pointer changes? So if you want to deal with these lines, you just, if you are clicking here, your cursor looks like that. Do you see what my cursor looks like? But if you want to delete the lines, you basically click on the left-hand side. You highlight the lines and then you press delete. Then a few of the lines can be deleted at the same time. So if I want to delete 2 of these lines, I highlight. Look at my mouse pointer. Compare my mouse pointer. If I'm here, it looks like that. But if I'm here, it looks like that. Then I start highlighting on my lines, and that's how I press delete. And then those lines are deleted. So you guys have 17 pages of lines. I have only a few lines and I can delete them like that. So normally I encourage you to leave 1 line here, because if you delete all the lines, then you might delete the table as well. So I normally say leave 1 line at the bottom and then delete the other lines, and also leave 1 at the top. Then you can delete the other lines there. Right, the intention today was to show you how to delete those lines. But let's do the next unit standard here. And I think this is what you guys will be starting with today. And I'm going to introduce this unit standard, give you an overview today, and then you guys will also then be able to move to section 2 of your unit standard or of your formative assessment today. Unless I'm mistaken, I think we are on session 2. Is this still session 2? Yes, it should be session 2. Right, yes. So you see the different the unit standard is now different. We're starting on session 2 there. I wanted to swap these things, but I see I haven't done that nicely there. But in any case, right. So the unit standard here is 467 now. I think if you check it, it's not the same unit standard we did yesterday. Are there any questions so far? Are there any questions so far from you guys?
None so far.
Are you guys coming on all right? Are you coping okay?
Yes, you're coming okay, sir.
I'm also going to ask for interest sake. How is the formative assessment so far? Are you making good progress?
Almost done.
Almost done.
Yes, sir.
Almost done. I think I like that one there. Please, are almost done. Are almost done. Almost done. Right. I'm not sharing any negative feedback, which means colleagues are indeed making good progress there. If there are any issues, please do let us know. Information resources. What are information resources? What are information resources? What do you guys believe are information resources?
Information resources.
What do you guys believe are information resources?
I think are the platforms that we use to gather information.
Okay, okay. And do we have examples of this? Someone else maybe has examples for us?
Could it be news, newspapers, magazines?
News. I heard something about Google. You said Google who?
Google Scholar.
Google Scholar. What is that now? We learn every day.
It's a platform where professors and research people put their stuff on. It's more like thesis and stuff like that.
Okay. So you get a lot of articles there about many different topics.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Those could be examples of learning resources, right? Okay. In your area where you live, what sort of information resources do you have?
Library.
You guys have libraries there?
Yes.
Why do you say library is a learning resource? Stupid question, I know.
Because you can gather information from the books that are found in the library.
So what is then the learning resource? Is it the library or is it the books?
It's the books.
I disagree. The library is a learning resource as well.
Yes, because without the library, you cannot get the books.
Okay. My view is, and I might be incorrect, I have a view that libraries don't only have books. Libraries also have a bit of a variety of learning resources. You'll find not only books, but a well-resourced library will have articles for you. They will have a lot of research mechanisms, tools, and different resources for you to be able to actually find information. I remember back in the days when libraries were there, we would find even educated people inside the library and would sit and interview them in the library, and they would teach us a whole lot about politics, the history of our land, and a whole lot of, I think I remember the most interesting one was I said to the what do you call a person who studies geography? Am I correct to say it's a geographist?
A geologist.
Geologist. Is that what they are called? Yeah. So am I incorrect? Do you have such facilities in the libraries that you have there? What else do you find in a library? Yes,
A
go ahead.
hole to hold.
There's a lady that's trying to speak. I think I haven't spoken to many ladies. Someone said sir, and I think it's a lady. I'm mistaken. Rose, your hand is up. Go ahead.
In our library, we have a computer center. That's what you get.
There's also computers there.
Yes.
And what learning resources does your computer center give you access to?
For computer literacy.
Do they teach
Teaching
computer
learners on.
literacy?
Yes, they do offer it.
Okay, okay. And your computers might have research papers saved on them. They might give you access to the internet. So
Yes,
there's a variety of things that
it's
you can
free.
find on those computers as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My argument is very weak, I know, but I want to say the library itself it comes with a myriad of learning resources that you have available to you, and that is why my argument says the whole library in itself becomes a learning resource, because you find a whole lot of information there in different learning resources in different shapes and sizes, and you might just find yourself spending the whole week digging up information, finding a whole lot of information from different sources, and I think I want to introduce a very political view here and say people as well are a learning resource. Would you agree with me or disagree with me there? Is there anyone that wants to debate with me around that one? People being a learning resource.
In what terms, sir?
Say again?
In what way?
I'm not sure I follow there. I think someone's speaking to me, but I'm not sure. Then there is
Yeah, he's saying in what sense?
In what sense? Oh, okay. So learning resource, for example, I mentioned people who teach us about history. Have you ever sat with old folk and they tell you a whole lot of information that's not written in books, but they give you something that you are able to verify and see, this is actually true. Let me bring it closer to home. Do you have old people at home that tell you about your parents? Old people that tell you about where the surname Dijane comes from? People that relate history that might not be written down. Would you not consider those people as a learning resource? Would you not quote them? For instance, when you are asked about your history, would you not be able to quote one of your uncles and say, I learned this from my uncle, and it is a fact, verified, and historians have also confirmed what I've learned from my uncle?
If confirmed.
What mechanism are being put or being applied in order to gauge the authenticity of the thing that you get from the elders?
Right. So, for example, if I'm able to get references that relate with the information that I have, confirm the source is right. So, for example, if I go back to my rural area and they tell me about a river, and I go ask people that drink from that river, and people that drink from that river tell me, yes, this river was once infested by crocodiles that were eating people. I might be incorrect, but you will hear where it comes from. Dijane. So this river was full of crocodiles that were eating people, and those crocodiles then were nicknamed Dijane because they were eating people, and that's where the surname came from, because the person who killed all of these crocodiles is then the person that was named after the river Dijane. That type of history.
I used to.
I think we lost you, sir.
Would you say I'm incorrect? Am I completely? Am I?
No, you're correct when you put it that way, sir.
Okay, let's play it for another day. For my side.
From your side, say again. I lost you for a second. From your side.
Let's play it for another day. From my side, I will. I think I have a lot to say based on that.
You have a lot to say. Give me one line and let's see what you've got there.
It's in a form of research. What you will be doing by asking the elders about the surname and stuff like that, right? But current state of how can I put it? In our current state, we believe more on research, we believe more on findings, and we believe more on proof, right? So a voice by itself on a learning channel, I don't think will be more enough as a proof.
Desmond,
Yeah.
can I just add? Sorry, who was talking right now? Can I just add on to what Mr. X is saying? There are also those documentaries.
Yeah.
Documentaries, when they create them, they go and ask the people. They get stories from people and create documentaries. So a person on its own is a research instrument, because that person lived that life, and then now when he will explain it so that they will make documentaries, he will give the information as it is because he was there. I don't know if I'm clear.
All right. Yeah, no, I do get you.
Okay.
Let's proceed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got lost for a second there. Yeah. I got lost for a second there, but I think I got a bulk of what is being said. And again, colleagues, this is all meant to be be a conversation where we pick up a few things, we learn a few things, and we run with it, right? And I think very importantly as well, I'm appreciating the input from you colleagues, and it is important and quite essential. I also want to jump straight from this conversation, and I think the learning around and I'm going to find Mr. Dejare, you must find me a cool drink, but not buffaloes. No, buffaloes are too much, Mr. Dejare. Language, right? Language is one thing that comes into if I pay buffaloes, it's a lot. But you can find me. I'll ask money from Mr. Samgelo. Mr. Samgelo has a lot of money. He will pay for me. Language in itself has a whole lot of history in it. Am I correct? language in itself comes back and it gives us a whole lot of history there. So I created a small history around Mr. Dijane's name there. And if you look at the fact that it's spelled like this, pronounced like that, and you pick up as well, I think I'll give you gossip, colleagues. Mr. Sbonelo there also tried and explained to me what Dijane comes from, why it's pronounced the instead of Lee. So he's saying it gives quality to the language, the Sotho language. If you look at it, it makes sense, because if you listen to French speaking people as well, you find a lot of times they say something, we look at the word, then they pronounce it differently, and you're like, oh, but why didn't you pronounce it just like this? There's a whole lot of richness that comes from there. And as well, language in itself is a communication means, and in our it comes and gives us some expressions that would not have come easily with just black and white or writing that is inscripted or encrypted onto a piece of paper. So then out of language, you're able to get, there's a mixture of voice, sounds, that speak with their hands, they put in some to it, and the whole composure of your throat, all of this thing coming into, and I think you guys might even do better than me. Some languages, I use French as an example, but some languages in South Africa themselves, just like the Jani here, it's spelled differently and pronounced differently. And I think I was learning some Sepedi a few months ago. When I enrolled at some institution, I had to learn Isipedi, and I found that my throat was tired by the time the day ends, because there's a lot of ha ha ha, and I'm like, oh, now my throat is tired. It has never been exposed or exercised in this fashion. And eventually I started drinking warm water, and I was exhausted on the throat. All of that, if you are coming from a different angle of life and you cross over to this side, you find that it's an interesting thing to experience. Now, absolutely important. I think I went overboard talking about learning resources there, how they come about, and all of that. Then I skipped over to communication, but I looked at the one aspect, which is your language. But I want to take it back to where we need to go to in terms of this unit standard here 119467, where we're talking about communication in itself. And I think you guys will agree with me that communication is a two-way process of reaching mutual understanding. And in this particular scenario, participants not only exchange information, but they create and share meaning of whatever ideas, thoughts, or feelings that they have. Do you guys agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So if we look at communication, we've got to agree that it's a two-way process. And I know now some of you might be thinking I'm talking about relationships. No, guys, I'm just talking communication. It's a two-way process, and we've got to have the same understanding at the end of this communication process. So absolutely important. That we note. You might have a different understanding, I have a different understanding, but communicating from these two different, or these two corners of our understanding then must eventually give us one meaning or one understanding there. So communication in itself is a way of transmitting and understanding. I hope I'm making sense there. We'll delve into it when we look into this unit standard further. But then other things that we've got to look at is learning. Learning. What do you guys understand by the term learning?
Gathering knowledge and information.
Gathering knowledge and information. That could be learning, right? So you learn something new, you modify existing understandings, you understand what others understand versus what you already understood. You learn behaviors, you learn skills, you learn values. It might change your perceptions, it might change your preferences. When you learn something, you sort of then have a change in mindset sometimes, and a whole lot of times you find that learning comes with a certain, or leaves you with a certain impact in you there, right? And that is why then we go back and we say you've got to then find learning resources, and we identified a few of them now.
Mr. X?
I hope I'm making sense, colleagues. I really hope I'm making
Sorry,
sense.
Mr. X, you are breaking. We can't hear you.
We lost you there.
Oh, did you lose me for a second? Am I back?
Yes, you're back now.
Am I audible and clear to everyone, colleagues?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful stuff. I want to try and reshare my screen. Please just give me a second. I think my screen also dropped there.
Yes, problema.
Sure, I share it. This one did lose my sharing. I'm seeing check today out. Some share options. So right. So I think my screen is being shared. Can you all see it again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So,
I saw my share button when I checked why I was breaking. Covered. My screen was gone for a second. Right. So if you look at my screen here, this is the second unit standard that we're looking at here. And the task that you're going to look at. And you'll see there we say, consider the department you work in, learning materials that you use regularly. And I think we know, colleagues, that some of us have not worked before. Then you can use some examples that I've shared with you. And you can also try and picture, put yourself in my shoes. I work for a training organization, and try and imagine if you were me at Extensive, what learning resources would be available to you. And you can then sort of correlate this with where you are now. What learning resources do you have available to you in the position that you are in with Extensive? So do not really be frantic around you are not employed, you've never worked before. You basically have to look at the current situation where you are as a learner, and then take it from there. Make sure you're able to respond to that question. So you've got a laptop, you should have some data as well. You've got your phone, whatever learning resources that you have at your disposal that you can use professionally. So other examples that would not work would be the examples that I've set, examples that speak about your uncle and your grandparents, and them being learning resources. But you've also got to look at your library if you're sitting at an area where you need to research. For example, if you have been to the library to research for any of the material we have presented, then you can list the library as well. So do not frustrate yourself and say, I have not ever been employed, and then you don't answer that question. If you've got also some previous experience, I think you can use that as well. We're not going to dispute that you guys have in your previous employment worked and had some access to some learning resources there. Right. So interestingly as well, the conversation around languages comes right into your assessment there. How will you find information on the different languages that people speak in your town, state, which research tools you will use to research on this topic? So that's where I go all the way and I say language in itself is a very important thing. And I think I link it up to our histories and say, if someone tells me something and I'm able to confirm it in the area where I either grew up, depending what that conversation was around, if I'm able to confirm that, I would then say some people, or it doesn't need to be old ones, but a lot of times I find old people to be factual around things like this. So if you do your research in your area where you are now, find information on different languages that people speak in the town that you're in now, and then tell us what you found and how you found that, what research tools you used to make sure that you respond to that. Right. Which types of learning resources are available in your workplace, and how can your employer ensure that staff members with different language abilities can use these resources? So I will also add here, you can look at extensive current workplace, and you can also look at an organization that you are familiar with. Doesn't have to be where you are working or where you've worked before. If you have a big organization that you have access to or you have knowledge of, you can also give us a response based on that, and you can answer those questions there. Now, we're going to try and do this tomorrow, where we have a brainstorming session about ways to improve the behavior of bus and taxi drivers. After the brainstorming session, then we'll have a discussion about those suggestions. So you can go out and think around that, and I will sort of incite some ideas in your mind. For instance, how they behave, how they relate to traffic officers, how they never get arrested, how they shoot each other, how they block roads, and all of those things. So those are the things I'm going to say go and look at. I saw a video as well where taxi drivers were helping a lady who was battling at a taxi rank, and they put together some monies and they assisted that person. She had been lost traveling at night, and they assisted that lady. She was with a young child, and taxi drivers were there to assist that lady who was lost or misplaced and did not have money for traveling. And they came together, pulled through together, and assisted that lady. It was a video I saw on social media. I was doing my preparation around this one. So we'll have that brainstorming session tomorrow. I'm just putting it out there, but I would imagine we all have used taxis and we all know what to say there. In a group, develop a landing sheet for the video list below. So if you look in the learner guide as well, you'll find a few ideas that we've got around this, and we have some information around file classification. So when you get here as well, you are allowed to go to the internet to broaden your search. You are allowed to go into the internet and broaden your search there, but you'll find some information in the learner guide as well. Right. I think very importantly, do I have the video list? Let me see. I'll check if I have the video list there, and I might be able to then share it with you guys on WhatsApp. Information resources that you'll use when doing your research. Again, it's a conversation that goes back to the same thing: learning resources. What are they? And I think I stretched your thinking in terms of what a learning resource could be, and that's where the debate around, are people a learning resource? Are old folk a learning resource? And what I think someone in the session asked a valid question: how do you decide this one is a learning resource? Can I take Mam Kopozi from the street and just say that person is a learning resource or an information source? There's that you've got to look at when you list your information resources here. So I stretched that debate and left it open as well, so that you don't find yourself limited in responding to the formative assessments there. So this is a group activity. I will try tomorrow create time that we do it together as well. But I'm sending you ahead this morning. Well, now it's afternoon. This afternoon, I'm sending you ahead of that so that you go out and populate the answers that you've got in your imagination. And by the time we do it tomorrow, at least you are not dumbstruck. You have some ideas as to what is going on there. That's the end of this unit standard. And I think tomorrow, the other thing that I will do very importantly is I will give you an overview of what's going on in that unit standard there. And you do have access to that unit standard. You'll be able to find there's a whole lot of information there. We've touched base on a few, but you'll find in the learner guide we talk about information resources being textbooks, printed media, visual media, print materials, audiovisual aids, and a whole lot of learning or information resources that we speak of, learning resources that we speak of. And we also then, in the learner guide, for example, we give you skills on how to use these learning resources effectively. We give you skills on how to use these learning resources effectively. Then in the assessment, we are testing if you are able to learn from the learner guide and are you able to then implement what you've learned accordingly in the assessments there. And then tomorrow I'll share also some topics that we've got to do some research about. I think those will go into your summative assessment. But again, I want to give you a head start in how you start off doing your research prior. And I think it will be very important to do them tomorrow after we've spoken about learning materials and how to use them effectively. So today, I basically introed that unit standard, or I basically pushed you to starting with that unit standard and reading it as well, so that you are able to then respond to questions in the assessment. So we'll delve deeper into it most likely tomorrow, and I will do my best to make sure that I assist with where you guys battle it with the assessment as well. I think I have pushed beyond the time that I normally try, considering that we are trying to make sure we're here every day and we don't have sufficient data. I want to stop, although I don't believe I'd covered everything that I needed to cover today, but I want to stop here and allow us time to go and do or start ahead with the assessment, so that we're able to be here as well again tomorrow. Before I stop my session, I want to check, have you guys got any questions for me at all? Are you all right there? Are you coping? And will you be okay with the assessments that you've got? Any questions based on today's material? Are you all right? Are you okay?
I think we're fine.
Do you have any questions for me? Did I say, I hope I didn't use difficult English. Is my English understandable? Are you guys able to follow?
Sure.
I think that was a yes. I think that was a yes.
Yes, sir.
2 yeses. 2 yeses.
Yes, senor.
Right. So I'm assuming you guys are all right. And I think as well, as we proceed with the day, I think you guys were asking questions, you were dialoguing with me. So I want to believe you are indeed All right. If you had questions or you had queries, you are allowed to now and again interject and let's resolve those. In the absence of questions, then allow me to call it a day, colleagues, and wish you the best of luck with the rest of your afternoons. And if you've got questions, the WhatsApp group is open for us to continue dialogue and conversing there. So if you've got a question around the assessment, just ask it in the group. Then we'll share what we know in the group and direct you the right way in the group as well. So do not be scared. The WhatsApp group is not for us to use. It is to bring you guys together, to be in class non-stop. We hope you don't go into the night, deep into the night, talking in the WhatsApp groups. But it is for us to engage and assist each other there. So please do utilize the WhatsApp groups sufficiently. Right, we can unmute, colleagues, and we can say our goodbyes and let us meet tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Goodbye, Mr. and goodbye, colleagues.
Cheers.
Goodbye, everyone.
Cheers.
Goodbye, everyone.
Clarence.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a lovely day.
Cheers, Victor. Cheers, Sandy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. X. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, Bongani.
Goodbye, everybody. Enjoy your day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Mr. X.
Goodbye, Rose. Trying to recall the names. Goodbye, Witness. Tembelise as well. Did I miss? Anita, have a good afternoon. Goodbye, Tembo, and thank you. You have a good day as well.